Good morning, everybody. It's that time of the week again. It's a Tuesday morning, and yeah, here we are for the 15th installment of Morning Cello. And so I want to welcome you. If you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Joshua McClain. I do these every week on Tuesday and Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. I just had a question from Alyssa. Pardon me if I think that was your name. The computer's way over there, and then I came back over here, so I may have already forgotten your name. It's early. About how often do you get a new bow? And depends. If you have a nice bow, you'll probably never get a new bow because they last forever. The cello bow traditionally is made out of Pernambuco. It's a wood from Brazil. It's very expensive, and recently Brazil has limited the amount that can be exported because it's also has become endangered. And so a lot of the stores of wood that bow makers are working with are very old, and they're trying to get as much as they can. It's a very hard wood, but it's also very resilient. It's very bouncy. It has a lot of bounce, and so you don't need to necessarily replace the bow. You can do a couple of things. You can replace the hair. You can put either fiberglass hair on it or horsehair. I recommend horsehair, but I mean, to be honest, if you're not performing professionally, do whatever's cheapest. It'll sound probably pretty good anyways. And bows range from anywhere from $50 to over $10,000. A $10,000 bow would probably be old, and that's why it's worth so much. Although even new bow makers are sometimes charging as much as $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 for a bow. Again, a lot of that has to do with the amount of craftsmanship. It takes sometimes about a week-ish or more to produce the bow, like 40 or 50 hours. And sometimes they'll go through many sticks of Pernambuco till they find the perfect one. And again, each of these sticks is very expensive. And they'll stress test it. And the bow maker that I met recently, John Greenwood out of San Francisco, amazing character. I played a couple of his bows. They're beautiful. And he actually tests the bows by putting them in water and sending electricity through the wood to see how he can tell what the grain is like inside by getting information back on it. It's very advanced. And so that's very interesting. And so, yeah, there's this whole school behind bow making and also cello making. And cello takes sometimes 3 or 4 months to build, and cellos can cost anywhere from $1,000 for something made in a factory to over millions of dollars. And again, the millions of dollar cellos are typically old, and made in the 1700s or even in the 1600s by famous luthiers like Amati and Stradivarius and Guarneri. And so there's a whole history behind instruments. My cello was made by a master cello maker in Poland named Jan Slakchowski, but it is not an old cello. It was made in 2005. My cello teacher, she had a French cello, and it was made in 17 like 30 or 40. And it was it's probably worth like $100,000 now. And yeah, but there are amazing modern cello makers that are making these powerful instruments, probably even more powerful than before because, pardon me, I'm just going to talk for like 1 or 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. I had a question about the cello. The cello is kept under an incredible amount of tension. And this bridge here is not attached. It's just held by the tension of the strings. And so when you hit a string, you're actually releasing all that tension. And so but they keep making strings out of crazier and crazier materials. These are made out of tungsten. Tungsten has like a 6,000 degrees Celsius melting point. Like if I sent my cello from space back to Earth, the only thing that would survive re-entry are the strings. And maybe this crazy end pin I have made out of silicon nitride. It's a intense ceramic. And so, but anyways, what I was saying is modern cellos have to be built a little bit stronger, and older cellos need to sometimes be reinforced to be able to handle the new materials that they're making strings out of. They used to be made out of gut, like an animal gut, to dry it and stretch it out. And now they're made out of steel, tungsten, aluminum, all kinds of amazing new materials. And sometimes cellos are even made out of carbon fiber now. Anyways, I hope that answers your question, Alyssa. Yeah. So, anyways, welcome. My name is Joshua McClain. This is Morning Cello. I'm going to get started here in just probably 1 minute. Thank you for your patience. I love to talk about gear, and I love to talk about instruments. One of these days, I would love to own a very, very nice cello. But this is a nice instrument. One of these days, I will upgrade. What was I saying? Okay. Yeah. So, welcome. If you're just joining us, please let me know where you're listening from. My name is Joshua McClain. I'm going to start here in probably T-minus 30 seconds. And I just want to let you know that this, I advertise that this is for yoga or movement or meditation, but it's really just for getting the day started. And so it's a chance to drop in and ground and take the time to breathe and get ready for the day. And so I just invite you to feel the music. I play happy music, I play sad music, I play intense music, and I would just welcome you to allow those emotions to be felt. If you need to cry or laugh or just sit and drink your coffee quietly and contemplate, you can do that and use it as an opportunity to really just touch in and yeah. And also, we're building community here, and so I want you to be able to connect with people all around the country and all over the world. And so I encourage you to do that. If there are people here in the comments that you're connecting with, please connect with them offline. You've now made a connection through Morning Cello, which makes me very happy. I'm going to go ahead and play a tune, and then I'll come back and chat at you some more, hopefully not too much. In the meantime, I'd love it if you could share this live stream on your own Facebook timeline. And also, maybe you'd like to personally send a direct message to somebody with a link. That'd be a great way to get more people here and more community building happening and more people grounding and getting ready for the day. All right. My name is Joshua McClain, broadcasting live from Oakland, California. This is the 15th installment of Morning Cello, and I'll talk to you real soon. Welcome. And so those first two tunes are kind of just an opportunity for me to get warmed up and for you to get warmed up as well. And so welcome. If you're just joining us, my name is Joshua McClain. Why don't you let me know where you're listening from in the comments? It's always nice to know where people are. And yeah. Also, let me know if this is your first time or if this is something you've been doing, coming and seeing me play for a while. And I say this at the beginning, but this is not just an event for people who are into meditation or yoga or alternative medicine. It's really it's very low key. It's for you to just have that opportunity to really take a moment to take a break. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening right now, and so I invite everyone to be present and to be here in this session. And there's all kinds of other things that you can worry about, but we're not going to worry about them right now. We're not going to let it take over our thoughts. We're going to just be here and enjoy this community that's growing. It's growing every week, and we're just going to be here and enjoy listening to music and allowing ourselves to feel the music, and to let whatever comes up, emotionally or whatever we're thinking about, just to let that come to the surface and acknowledge it. And you don't have to let it, take over your thoughts. Just breathe and relax and be here. It's so nice to have so many people here. And so, yeah. This is the 15th installment of Morning Cello. I do this every Tuesday, Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, and so I invite you to come be a part of it every time, and to invite your friends and family and grandmothers. Call your congressman. Get them here. No, don't call your congressman. I guess it depends on where you are. Great. So I'm gonna go ahead and play some more music for you. These concerts are completely free. But I've been doing this as a gift. But if you feel compelled to, and I encourage you to, it's to contribute. You can do so. There's a link in the comment section. What I recommend is supporting me on Patreon. That's the best way to support me as an artist. Otherwise, there are some other links there for to make a one-time contribution. Patreon is a monthly subscriber-based crowdfunding site, and so it allows me to be able to put more of my time and energy into music. And that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, it's a suggested donation. I'm not working right now, and so it helps me as an artist, and to keep Morning Cello growing in quality and viewership. Most of the money goes back into marketing and into equipment, and so we're always upgrading here. That's pretty much it. I've got some announcements about workshops. I'm going to make just one now, and then I'll save the rest to the end. I am putting a date on the calendar for my workshop on streaming music, how to get good video quality, audio quality, and marketing. My background was in marketing and crowdfunding. And so that'll be May 23rd. I believe that's a Saturday. May 23rd for 1 to 3 p.m. And I'll get a link up shortly. But if you want to be notified about that, just send me a direct message, and I'll get you the information. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'll save the rest to the end. Just support me on Patreon. There's a link in the comment section, and I'm gonna play some more music for you. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. This is my absolute favorite thing all week long. So thank you for making my days and nights easier by being here. I'm not done playing the cello yet. I was just letting her take a break. If you're just joining us, thank you and welcome. I'll play again here in just about a minute or two. Just want to take a moment to address the virtual audience in this amazing recurring series that's been happening. Morning cello. Although I have a graphic that I usually put up that I forgot to put up. Where is it? Morning cello logo. There it is. I usually have it there. I did a show with a friend of mine recently, Monica Pasquale. We streamed from her living room, kind of socially distanced, and so we were using the software. And of course, I took off the Morning Cello logo. But that's another artist that I recommend you check out, Monica Pasquale. She's a really good friend of mine, an amazing songwriter, and actually she's a songwriting teacher, and she's won 6 Emmys for her songwriting for television. She's won like 11 independent music awards and has released like a dozen albums. And so she's very prolific, hell of a lady. And check out Monica Pasquale, Pasqual. Monica Pasquale music. And so we did a show the other day, and I'm usually very sort of serious and laid back here, and we were a little looser, and it's kind of like a stand-up comedy hour. And so we had a lot of fun playing together. It was nice seeing another human, but otherwise, we're pretty much holed up here in our houses like everybody else. And so it's good for you to find stuff like this or something else where you can connect with people and you can find a way to utilize the arts and humanities to create meaning in a difficult situation like this. So I always I would like to remind you to always remember to find your breath. I do that throughout the day. I'll feel stressed and I realize I'm not breathing well. And so that's really important, and that we maintain stuff like that. What else? If you're just joining us, let me know where you're listening from. It's always nice to know where people are. And also, if you'd like to support this music, and I encourage you to do so, it's kind of a suggested donation. You can do so at Patreon. There's a link pinned to the top of the comments section. There are also links for like a contribution for PayPal and Venmo. It's paypal.me/Josh Tipjar and Venmo at Joshua McClain. And all those links are there in the comments. What else? I want to recommend somebody else. I like to recommend a few people here. My meditation teacher, Publio Valle, Publiovalle. I think it's publiovalle.com. He's a Brazilian, and I met him when I was doing a workshop program in the Amazon jungle in Peru in 2016. I spent about 6 weeks in Peru, both in the jungle for about a month and then in the Sacred Valley for about 2 weeks. Pretty wild experience. And so, yeah, actually I'll be writing about that soon, as well as some other interesting experiences. And you'll have access to that through my Patreon page, where I'll be releasing a music video in the coming weeks for my song Coming Home. And so I have a camera, and so I'll be shooting that at my house. It's called Coming Home, and the only thing we're waiting for is I've been doing some yard work in the back. It's starting to look like a hobbit lives here. It's just beautiful. Just because we have some extra time, we've been very meticulous about planting grass and putting flowers in. We build a sandbox for my son, but it's kind of right where the sun hits, and so we're going to build this like beautiful little red see-through like sunroof to add like that hint of red to the yard. And I trimmed up the bamboo, and actually I was having a hard time playing at the sound check last night because I've been using these hand shears to cut through big pieces of bamboo for hours a day. And so I realized I'm having a hard time getting my hands to do what I'm asking them to, because they were very tired yesterday. And then lastly, I'd recommend that you check out Todd Boston. If you like my music, you like Todd Boston. Todd, Boston. He's a guitar player, multi-instrumentalist. He does looping, and it's sort of in the meditative music genre, which I can sometimes veer into. I also like to play some crazier music. I have a loop that I think I might start with that's kind of intense. And so, yeah, those are some people that I recommend. My name is Joshua McClain. This is Morning Cello, and if you haven't already, I recommend supporting by going to patreon.com/Joshua McClain to become a subscribing member or to make a contribution. PayPal.me/Josh Tipjar or at Venmo at Joshua McClain. Those links are in the comments section. And I've got some more announcements about upcoming workshops at the end of this program, and so stay tuned for that. And otherwise, I'm going to play some music for you. Thank you again for being here. It means the world to me and my family. Actually, my wife, maybe she can bring down my boy after this next song. You can meet my son, who I try to give a cameo every time. think you have a very special guest. He visits us every week. He travels all the way from Tampa, but he's a layover in Dallas, Fort Worth, and then he's got to go up to LaGuardia. It's a nightmare, but he made it here. My son, his name is Johan. Hey, bud. Hello. Hey, can you say something? Can you say something? He's a little man of few words. He's 15 months, and he's walking and telling jokes. He says goodbye to everything. He says bye to the bathtub. He says bye to birds. He says bye to his parents when he's going to bed. He says bye to Luigi, our dog, when he leaves the room. He says it's really cute. What else? He's just a fun little guy. Yeah, we feel very fortunate. I know that a lot of folks are stuck at home alone, and so we feel very fortunate. We feel very close to our family right now, and so if you are at home alone, I encourage you to call people, FaceTime, video calls to people you haven't talked to in a while, even just to reconnect. And so, make sure that you're getting out there and doing that, right, Bubba? He's actually got to go. He's got a Zoom conference call with his boss in about 5 minutes, and so. But I have one more guest that I want to show you. Same time, or let's do it. This is Luigi Pepperoni. He just flew in from Milan, and but he had a layover in Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong he had to go to Sydney. I don't know how that happened, and then from there he actually went. Yeah, hi. My son's yelling bye at us and bye to you. It's super cute. And this is Luigi Pepperoni. He's a pound dog. We got him about 2 or 3 years ago. He's a great little guy. He's beginning to get along with our son, who just is a little rough with him, and so we're teaching him to pet Luigi nice. All right, Bubba, I'm gonna leave Luigi here, baby. He's gonna listen to the rest of the set. All right, I'm gonna play a few more. Oh shoot. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit more music for you. I'll talk to you soon. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting with everyone in the room. We all shared an experience today, and that's important that we stay connected in these ways, especially through the arts and humanities. There's so much emphasis, especially in Western culture, on capitalism, and more stuff isn't going to make you more happy. What will make you more happy is community and family and listening to music and going out and doing community projects. Those are the good things to do. Your sole purpose in life is not to be advertised to. And so I hope that the silver lining in this crazy time that we're in is that there's going to be some change coming, because it simply cannot go on like this any longer. And so the emphasis in our communities needs to be on each other and taking care of each other and taking care of our friends and our family and even strangers and even our enemies. And so I don't know. I don't know how I got there, because it's the truth. That's how we got there. Actually, I was telling you about. I'm going to tell a few stories here at the end. So if you'd like to duck out the door, I won't know. I don't get a notification that so and so's leaving, and I wouldn't. I'm not gonna. There's no grade here. You all get A pluses today for showing up, and you'll get A pluses on Thursday and that Tuesday and Thursday. Continue. What was I gonna say? I was talking about my meditation teacher, Publio. Oh yeah, and so I was at this really intense retreat in the Amazon jungle in Peru at a place called the Temple of the Way of Light. An amazing place. They teach you about permaculture. They teach you about the cultures of the indigenous peoples that live in the Amazon. Specifically, people in that area were called the Shipibo, and they have these powerful medicine doctors, these shamans who use plants from the forest to help cure most ailments. And so there are people that go to these retreats for all kinds of different reasons: depression, physical ailments, arthritis, different spiritual stuff that's going on, just to gain some more insight or just to have a profound experience. And throughout the retreat, you're drinking these powerful plant medicines and going through these very intense ceremonies. But then, when you're not doing that kind of stuff, you're doing like sharing circles. I remember one activity we sat and just stared at another human being like this close for like a half an hour. And I've said this before, I'm from Indiana, where like nobody, including myself previously, was into any stuff like that. But very powerful. It's strange how when you look at somebody like that long enough, there becomes less and less differentiation between you and them. You begin to sort of see yourself, which is sort of, it would be wonderful for the world if everybody was viewing themselves and everyone else in themselves. There'd be less war and famine and strife. And we were doing a lot of mindfulness meditation. And I remember my meditation teacher, Publio, talking about what it takes to really tap into what matters in the earth and the ecosystem and on this planet and what we're doing and the human experience. And I'm like, a lot of us are going back to jobs. Like we're in a bubble right here. And yeah, it's fun to do all this meditation and yoga and staring at somebody's face for 30 minutes until it turns into your own. But we're going to go back to Western culture, and we don't have time for this stuff. And how do we deal with that? And he just said, there is no other way. There is no other way. The only way is to try to contemplate the human experience and to figure out how we can be better people and better to each other. There is no other way. There are no other answers. There's no, you can go back to Western culture and go back to your really intense job where you're driving around and flicking people off out the window and honking the horn and just feeling super stressed. But there is no other way. There is no other way. You have to, the kind of stuff has to stop. Human beings are meant to be together and to be expressive together through music and the arts and through humanities, and we're meant to take care of each other, not to destroy and consume. It's just insane. And so anyways, my recent album was almost called There Is No Other Way. There is no other way. This has to be it. We have to. Like, plants have figured out solar power. They've learned how to live on solar power and water, and we can't even shift from oil to solar power. And so it's like, there is no other way. We have to learn to live with the planet. And so that was a really powerful experience. And another reason why I recommend that you check out Publio Valle, publiovalle.com, PUBLIOVALLE.com. An amazing meditation teacher. And that's pretty much it. I was talking a lot. I don't know if I have the energy for one more song. So if you haven't already, let me know where you're listening from. I want to thank you again for joining Morning Cello. It's amazing to have people here. I highly encourage you, almost suggest that you support this, because it allows me to continue to be a working artist versus just an artist who has to do a bunch of other stuff to survive. And so you can do that at patreon.com/Joshua McClain. There are links in the comment section. And you can also do that by making a one-time contribution at paypal.me/Josh Tipjar, or at Venmo at Joshua McClain. And I said this is kind of the announcement section. My wife is a somatic expressive arts therapist. She has her PhD in depth psychology, Jungian psychology, and somatics, which is movement and exploring the body and the memories that are stored there by using the expressive arts to open up those parts of the body and have access to stored memories, whether that's trauma or something else. And so she teaches workshops every Saturday morning. And so I encourage you to reach out. If you'd like to attend that, just send me a direct message on Facebook, and I'll get you the link to that. I'll be teaching a workshop on how to stream to get good picture quality, sound quality, and also how to market it and get people there, both through some paid marketing, but also by using sort of organic sources, and how can you best use crowdsourcing to get people there. And then once you have a strong enough streaming community, you can start crowdfunding, whether that's Patreon, or perhaps say that you're doing a community project or raising money for an album. You could then use that audience to do crowdfunding, whether that's an album or something else. And so I have a background in crowdfunding and marketing, and so I'm happy to talk about that. And that date is May 23rd from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. Still creating the link for that. I think we'll probably do it on Zoom, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to get everyone the link. So if you want to know about that workshop, just shoot me a direct message and I'll get you the link. I'll put your name on a email list where we'll notify you. And then lastly, my wife and I will be doing a joint workshop here shortly, probably within a month, where I will be accompanying her somatic expressive arts therapy workshop with my music. And it's a very powerful experience. And so if you want to know about that, if you want to know about something, just shoot me a direct message and I'll get back to you. If you have any other questions about my process, about my gear, although in this workshop I'll be going over both my camera gear, my lighting gear, my audio gear, and then also my rig a little bit. You can't see it right here, but I've got a little pedal board and how I get my cello to sound like it does, which is kind of crazy. The cool thing is that if you're looking to stream, it actually doesn't cost that much. Some people think it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, which you could do. But there are actually some pretty affordable lights on Amazon. You get them someplace else if you don't want to support Amazon. I get it. And then there's some pretty affordable audio options and also camera options, whether you're using the new iPhone 11, which is an amazing camera, or if you want to get a DSLR or mirrorless. There are some affordable entry-level consumer options that you can get that will still get you a nice shallow depth of field, beautiful crisp picture, and nice colors. So you don't have to buy a $3 or $2 or even a $1,000 camera. So I'll be talking about how to do that on a budget as well. Okay. Thank you for being here. It's just amazing every time. My name is Joshua McClain. This was the 15th installment of Morning Cello, and I'll see you on Thursday. All right. Take care and talk to you soon.